Good evening and welcome to AdCast. I'm Carl Vervisch, and I'm here with my lovely co-host, Cris Vatalaro.
Hello, and I'm here to welcome Wagner, who is the owner and creator of Beloved Experiential, which is very interesting to me because I didn't quite understand when I was first reading about it, but you have a wonderful thing going on. Can you tell us a little bit about your company?
I can, sure. We, not to be confused with experimental, right? We're all about experiences. We essentially create brand to consumer interactions. So the the old adage that people only want to do business with people that they like and connect with on a personal level is really what we do day to day on a marketing level, where we connect brands and consumers in very personal and emotional ways.
Can you give us a couple examples?
Sure. I think the most popular, a lot of you guys see sampling campaigns. You go outside and you see people giving out, those free samples, and they have the brand T-shirts and the outfits, right?
Sure.
Maybe it's a new Orbit gum, like the Orbit Mojito that we worked on, or maybe it's the Axe effect, and you see people doing crazy and wild things for Axe.
Sure.
Or it's a mobile campaign, guerrilla marketing tactics. Experiential essentially is a very broad term for anything that creates an experience-based marketing. And there's a lot of segments of that. It's one of the many disciplines in marketing, and probably the fastest growing discipline in marketing today, because it's interacting with people on a personal level as opposed to commercials and traditional advertising that is speaking to but not speaking with the consumer.
Sure, that's really cool. So it's starting a discussion with the consumer.
Absolutely. The methodology is really that you're going to start a communication with the consumer that hopefully they will then take on and speak with 10 of their friends, and then 10 of their friends, and so forth and so on. So it's hopefully creating not only excitement within that consumer base that you've attracted, but then they're going to create a viral effect.
Excellent.
Can you tell us about some of the companies that you've worked with?
Sure. A lot of major brands, Procter & Gamble being one of them, Kraft, General Motors, Ford.
Wow.
They're Jamba Juice, if you're familiar with those guys. We've done everything from pharmaceuticals all the way down to beverages, and Target was a client that we worked with last year, where we worked on branded events for them throughout the year. So there's been a multitude of major clients. The major brands really get it. They've been experiential marketing has been around for about 5 to 10 years, and the major brands know that if they want to create loyalty, just like Coca-Cola, for example, is they put in so much money every year in branding because they know that they need to keep that loyalty growing and consistent. Experiential marketing is where they go now. They're taking a lot out of traditional funds and media and putting it into the experience.
That's cool. Can you tell us a little bit about how the process works? Does the brand come to you? Does another agency come to you? Do they come with an idea? Do you guys make up the whole thing, or are there different levels of how that works?
There are a lot of different levels, and I think that every agency is different, but you'll find that there are traditional agencies today that are learning that they have to do one of two things. Either they have to themselves integrate experiential marketing into their agency, or they need to partner with an agency such as ours to get into that space to give that full marketing mix to their client. For us as an agency, we see about 90% of our client base happen to be agencies. They're either traditional agencies, PR houses, public relations firms, or they're other event and experiential marketing agencies that don't have the resources that we have on a national level. And then the rest of that, the 3% perhaps, are direct to brands that we deal with. And we're hoping to skew that a little bit more, but because so many of our clients happen to be agencies, we don't want to encroach into their space and become their competitor. We want to be their partner, and that's our philosophy as a company.
Sure.
But different people, different companies within our space have different philosophies, and for us, we rather be a support to the agencies and offer them an extra part of the mix.
Sure. So was Beloved Experiential, did you own a business before this, and was it always experiential marketing, or did you sort of transfer into this from maybe a broader scope and really realize what your niche was?
Yeah, you pretty much laid it out right there. Interestingly enough, I was just talking about this earlier, that I started my career in the record business.
Okay.
And at about around 96, well, 95, I started a record company through Universal. In 96, I started Beloved Marketing, which essentially was created to be a music marketing company for our record labels, as well as for other companies. We had a contract, for example, with Sony for about 2 years. And so we started as a music marketing company doing cross-promotional marketing and building opportunities for artists into other areas outside of retail, outside of music retail. And then from there, we became a traditional agency when the music business went where it's at right now.
Yeah.
At about 2000, between 2000 and 2004, we reinvented ourselves. So we became a full-service agency. And then for about a 2-3 year stint, I had the opportunity to work for a couple of major giants like Momentum Worldwide, GMR Marketing, a few agencies like that, and caught the experiential bug.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, I decided that that's where I wanted to be. It made sense as far as what we did on the entertainment side, and now bringing that to the consumer.
Cool. Now, I was going to ask, you guys are located, where are you based out of again?
Our headquarters in downtown Orlando. We're a national agency.
Okay.
And we moved from New York down to Orlando about several years ago, maybe 8 years ago.
Just out of curiosity, what brought you down to Florida?
I'm asked that all the time, and you know what? It's really because of, it's more than anything because of the weather. It was
Excellent.
because of the weather and the burgeoning economy.
Well, that's great.
I'm sorry. Now, how can our viewers find a little bit more information about you?
We're updating our website right now, but they're more than welcome to go to belovedxp.com, just like Windows XP, belovedxp.com. And if they go to belovedxp.com/activate, they'll be able to see some of our case studies and some examples of our work.
Cool. Well, Wagner, thanks very much for joining us tonight.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
We'd also like to thank our sponsors, TBT and Tampa Digital Studios.
Thanks a lot once again for getting us back in the studio here at Tampa Digital. It's a great place to be. For all you watching at home, we'll be back in just a few short moments.